Hi, and welcome back. We're here to talk to you about Porch Pirates and other holiday scams that you might want to watch out for this Christmas and holiday season. So Judy's going to start us right off. Judy, what are some ways that people can keep themselves safe while they're trying to enjoy this festive time?
Yeah, charity scams are out there. The holiday season is the perfect time for charity scams to just come out of the woodwork. And with the pandemic, we're seeing a lot of them on social media. We're seeing them over the internet, coming in email, you name it, they're coming. What is one easy way to protect yourself? How about donating locally? There is a great need in every community in the state of Maine. So how do you decide who to give money to? There's so many opportunities. Start by just trying to figure out what pulls at your heartstrings. Maybe it's food insecurity. If that's the case, do a little bit of Googling, find out where your local food pantry or food bank is. If they're accepting food donations, great. Many are only requesting monetary donations because of the pandemic, but either way, you can make a difference in your community. November was Homeless Youth Awareness Month. Maybe the fact that there are youth in the state of Maine who literally just go from sofa to sofa in order to find a warm place to stay. So you may decide that you want to donate money or maybe clothing, gloves, hats to an organization like New Beginnings in Lewiston, Maine. Or maybe what attracts you to charities, what really pulls you in is when they show you those pictures of people or animals, your money's going to go to protect this specific manatee. Well, if that's the case, maybe you could figure out how to have a more direct connection in your community. When my children were young, every Christmas Eve, we would make cookies and we would drive around and hand the cookies to people who had to work Christmas Eve. Police officers, people in the emergency rooms, the toll takers on the turnpike. And my children would grin from ear to ear to be able to see how surprised they were that on Christmas Eve, a family would take their time to give them cookies. So that might not be possible during the pandemic, but I bet everybody who's watching this YouTube video knows a family who is trying to do their jobs remotely, worry about the pandemic, and homeschool their children at the same time. And if you do, you could donate supplies to that family or even donate your time. I know a retired educator who teaches poetry to a group of third graders every week. And it brings her great joy. And I am telling you, those third graders think they are some special to have a retired teacher who's willing to give them an hour of her time on Zoom to teach them about poetry. So figure out for yourself, what can you give and who do you want to give to so that it not only brings them joy, but fills your own heart as well.
Those were wonderful, Judy. Thank you so much for sharing. I want to move on to Jane Margesson of AARP. Jane, what are some things that you see people needing to watch out for this holiday season?
Well, thank you so much, Katie, and great advice as usual from my friend Judy Shaw from the Maine Office of Securities. And I just want to mention that you can go to charitynavigator.org if you ever have a question about a charity and are not sure if they're legitimate or not. But another thing that we want to just mention is that, of course, this is holiday scam season because it's holiday shopping season, and scammers are out in force online and elsewhere trying to lure you towards their fake websites where you can get all kinds of deals and get all kinds of things at, you know, low prices that just simply don't exist. So we would just say, be very careful about where you're shopping. Make sure the site that you're using is legitimate. Scammers are very good at making sites look legitimate, and they will pile your email full of different phishing, it's called phishing scams, to try to get you to click on different links and go to various places because they say that, you know, they've got these rock bottom prices. Just be very careful. Scammers love this season. It's the season to scam, unfortunately. So if you have questions, if it looks a little fishy, if it looks like a price that really is just too good to be true, it probably is. Call the phone number of the establishment where you're trying to make your purchase directly. Verify everything. It takes a little time, but in the end, it will save you the heartache and the headache of losing money that you were trying to give to a charity or to a friend through a gift or to a family member, and instead you're just popping your money right into the pocket of a scammer. So I would just say be very wary, do your shopping, give a lot, that's great, but just be careful and take the extra step to make sure that you're actually engaging with a company that is legitimate.
That's wonderful advice. Now, another thing that people are doing this time of year is a lot of online shopping. People are getting packages delivered or delivering packages to different places. Lieutenant Pat Hood from the Maine State Police, what are some things that you can do if someone intercepts your package as a porch pirate?
Thanks, Katie. So there was a piece on the news, the national news, about this. It's a real concerning issue because we're ordering like we've never done before. But what we've done at our house is we have a different location that we ask our either UPS or FedEx driver to drop the packages. If you can find something out behind your house, maybe a box that you build and leave a lock inside that the delivery person can relock when they leave, that's an option. Sometimes you can arrange a time, but most everything has tracking. And if you're able to, or maybe a neighbor who's at home can pick up your package for you, it's just the little things that will make it a bit easier and more secure for all of us who are spending our hard-earned money for those gifts. So just something to be aware of. But also of note is that some of these companies, they're overrun with business. So they're hiring private entities to come deliver their packages. And we had one yesterday where they show up in an unmarked SUV with somebody who's not dressed in normal either FedEx or UPS or DHL gear. And for a minute, you wonder who that is. But as it turns out, they're delivering these packages. So if you're a neighbor and you see this, it's not uncommon. They're trying their best, I think, as these delivery companies to meet the need of all of us who are doing this more and more online shopping. So just be aware of that. But if you do see something that does not make sense and you see a car that doesn't fit, or you see a porch pirate in actual action, try to get a license plate number. On top of that, if you can give us a vehicle description or even something unique about the vehicle, it had a bumper sticker, it had a window sticker, something, because oftentimes we find that when you look at a registration plate number quickly, you can't get it right all the time. We even have situations where we don't get all the digits right, but we have ways to go back and compare most of the digits to the type of car. So if you want to be a detective and get that to your local law enforcement, whoever that may be in your community, that'd be very helpful. But those little things will help get through this holiday season to ensure that your good deeds, you will get that back on the other side.
That's excellent advice. Thank you so much. Now, as we're circling back in closing, Judy from the Maine Office of Securities, what are some closing thoughts you have for keeping people safe this holiday season?
It is the season of giving, and just be very mindful about who you are giving your money to. Make sure that, as Jane said, you've checked them out, you know that it's a legitimate charity. If you can give locally, think about giving locally, but most importantly, during this period of COVID, let's give of ourselves. If we can give of our time and share our love and peace with others, let's make that our top priority.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Judy. And Jane, what are your closing thoughts?
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly with what Judy just said. And as we've mentioned, just, be extra vigilant. Talk to your family members and your friends about the advice that you're hearing here. The more that we connect with one another, the more we can help each other stay safe from these various crimes that we're talking about. And I meant to mention earlier, too, that while most people are not going out as much as they were before, if you are using public Wi-Fi, just be very careful, because public Wi-Fi is in no way going to protect you if you are sharing, your credit card numbers or bank account information. It can be very dangerous to do it through public Wi-Fi. So I would strongly urge you to use your own computer at home and be safe that way with your own personal Wi-Fi. And just a reminder that if you have questions, if you're not sure about how to shop safely, for example, or how to give safely, the AARP Fraud Watch Network has a toll-free hotline. It's 1-877-908-3360. And you don't have to be an AARP member. It's free for anyone of any age. And it's just a great place to start if you have questions or you're just not quite sure how to proceed.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. And Pat, do you have any closing thoughts for people this holiday season?
Just want to share two things. If you are inclined to give and you're able to do so, be very careful about anyone who adds urgency to your giving. If it has to be done right now, anything like that, be very mindful. That just doesn't, it's not right when somebody rushes you into something. And also if there's any level of secrecy. We see scams that are ongoing now where they're trying to hide a secret. An example would be they receive a call from someone who plays the grandson saying that they're calling the grandparents, hey, don't tell my mom, don't tell my dad, they'll be very upset. Well, listen, there are times you need to verify, trust and verify, and that's something. So any urgency and any secrecy, you might as well just say, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm going to find something more local where I know my hard-earned money is going to be of value to these people. But other than that, I want you to have a very safe, enjoyable holiday season during this crazy time.
And thank you once again for joining us. Everyone here from Jane at AARP, Judy at the Office of Securities, Pat at Maine State Police, and myself, and everyone at the state of Maine wishes everyone a safe and happy holiday. Thank you, and we'll see you next year.